Welcome back to Detroit's Morning Answer. You know, this month, America celebrates National Entrepreneurship Month. It's a time when the country steps back and honors the builders, the risk takers, and the creators who bring something new to the marketplace. Small businesses form the backbone of our communities, and every entrepreneur has a story that begins long before the first sale is ever made. Today, we shine a spotlight on a Midwestern maker whose journey is rooted in family, heritage, and a recipe that has traveled through generations. Now, I better get this right because I have rehearsed it. Mehmet Tascioglu, the owner and creator of Mosaic Cakes, is introducing a dessert that is new to most American tables. These handcrafted triangular cakes, they reveal a beautiful mosaic pattern when sliced. They blend crushed, oh my goodness, wait a minute, hold on now, Paul. See, I got to get through this, Paul. They blend crushed butter cookies, rich chocolate, and premium nuts or fruits. Oh my goodness, that sounds like a sin. To create a dessert that is both visually striking and deeply nostalgic. This matters to Detroit. Detroit has always been a city that builds, a city that takes raw materials and turns them into something meaningful. It's a city where small businesses carry the soul of our neighborhoods. From Eastern Market to West Village to the storefronts that line the corridors of the revitalized downtown, Detroit has become a hub for makers, bakers, and culinary innovators who remind the country that the American story is still being written one family business at a time. Mosaic Cake fits that moment. Mehmet, welcome to Detroit's Morning Answer.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Sean.
I appreciate having you, and I apologize for not having you on last week. There was a scheduling snafu, and it was not Riley's fault; it was mine. So I take full responsibility for that, Mehmet. But before
all good. I get the scheduling stuff. Yep.
Mehmet, before we talk shop, who are you? What shaped you, and what path led you from family kitchens to becoming an entrepreneur in the Midwest?
Oh, totally. Yeah. I mean, I was born and raised in Michigan my entire life. So, I've been around. And the one thing that I loved growing up were these mosaic cakes. My mom would make her special recipe. Of course, it has to be a mother's recipe that, that gets the hits, right? So I had these cakes a lot. And, when I learned to make them myself and share them with friends, family, gatherings, etc., people would always love them. They think they were a big hit. And I think the flavors just stood out. And, so I had something. I had sort of something that I knew was popular. But in terms of the actual, developing the entrepreneurial spirit, it was really mainly because I was raised with those values from a very young age.
Yeah.
My dad lost his job in the Great Recession. And so when he was raising me, that was in, 08, 09.
Yeah.
And I was very young, and those are my formative years. And he spent a lot of his time trying to get me to believe in the American dream, the entrepreneurial spirit, and develop values that aligned with that mission. And so, I even remember from a very young age, sitting at a restaurant, and he'd pick up the napkin bowl, and he'd say, "Look at this, someone made the napkins, someone made the cover, someone made the table, someone made the forks. Someone was behind everything on this table," right?
Yeah.
And that turned me into a thinker of how can you innovate? How can you create something of value for people? And so throughout my, youth and my adolescent years, I was always trying to do different things, lawn mowing services, selling T-shirts, all that different stuff. But then I realized, when I was 18, hey, we have these cakes. They're totally new. They don't really exist in the U.S. People haven't tried them. So why don't we sell these? Mm-hmm. And so we decided, me and, my other family members, my younger brother, et cetera, helping me, let's do this. Let's actually turn this into something useful for people.
Yeah. For people hearing about Mosaic Cake for the first time, how do you describe it? I do a good job of describing it. And what separates it from the regular cakes, pies, or pastries Americans already know?
Yeah, totally. So the Mosaic Cakes, they consist of, again, crushed up butter cookies that are folded into our signature melted chocolate sauce.
Goodness.
Before being, frozen, and then you freeze them in a mold, and then they create this elegant mosaic shape because they're triangle. And when you cut into them, you're able to see, like, through the slice, the layers of the of the butter cookies, and then the chocolate, and then depending on the flavor, the nuts or fruits, because we have different flavors, including pistachio, raspberry, Biscoff, Oreo, hazelnut cream, Dubai chocolate, even white chocolate, and then fall specials, apple, carrot, and pumpkin, as well as a variety pack. So there's really something for everyone.
Now, what role does the mosaic pattern play in the story? How intentional is that presentation for the experience?
Yeah, I mean, the mosaic pattern is one of the most important parts, right? Because when people look at the slice, they're able to see everything inside, and it presents itself very well. Versus for cake, sometimes you can see it, but it's it doesn't have that same like popping out factor.
Yeah.
Versus these cakes, like, you really can just see what's inside, and that's the most elegant part. And of course, the triangle shape, right? The triangle represents elegance with the 3 dimensions, and it's the traditional form, and it's unique. It just it's not a shape that typically something a food would come in.
Yeah. Now, this month celebrates entrepreneurs across the country. What was the most difficult part of turning this family recipe into a legally formed, fully operational business? Anything that was like, wait a minute, oh, this was difficult, or hey, man, that was pretty easy.
Yeah, I mean, I think the most difficult part is the fact that people don't know what it is. Right? There's not really name recognition for it. It's not common, and so when I have to introduce it to someone, I have to essentially get them to buy, to believe in the cake without having tried it yet, right? Because they're going to try it by just seeing it. And appearance is good, of course, but if they haven't tried it, like, getting someone to take that risk, to try the product, even though they haven't really known about it before, that's the most difficult part. But ultimately, it's also rewarding too once they do, because then they're like, wow, like, this is actually something good. And they're able to then, share it with others. And so it does turn into something better, of course.
Where are you guys located? And I mean, Thanksgiving is in 2 days, right? This sounds like a great Thanksgiving treat to have at the dessert table.
Yeah, exactly. We're still we're located in Southfield on Northwestern Highway, in a shared commercial kitchen. So it's mainly a production facility, but people also can come in during our store hours and check us out. We're open today from 6 to 9 p.m. And they can come in, or they can order online, and we can deliver to them. We're still taking Thanksgiving orders, so if you need a last minute dessert for Thanksgiving, let us know. I mean, we'd be happy to help you or order online.
See, I got a bone to pick with Vance right off the top, because here's the reason why. I've been down there with Vance, and Vance has not taken me to the store. Why do you think Vance Patrick, chairman of the Oakland County Republicans, has not taken me to a place that sounds wonderful? What is with it? Vance is your friend, correct? You know Vance Patrick, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
So why hasn't he taken me, Mehmet?
Well, I think he's waiting for a great first time. You guys got to be for a good moment, because the first time you try, you got to see the reaction. You got to have it on video. It's got to be the most perfect moment ever. Okay, and trust me, we'll have you there. We got you when you're there. So, we can't wait to see you.
So I think Vance needs to take, so I'll be emceeing a event with Scott Jennings. Vance, we gotta me, you, Vance, and Scott Jennings needs to go, and John Gallagher, our station manager. We need to go. We need to come, and or Vance just orders a lot and brings it to the event with Scott Jennings, the Christmas event that I'll be emceeing. That has to go.
Yeah,
right? Yeah. That's the plan, right, Mehmet?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I'm messing with Vance Patrick, so don't. But Mehmet, these food trends come and go. But when you have something that's rooted in heritage, Why do you believe Mosaic Cakes is resonating with American consumers right now?
Yeah, I think it's resonating really just because of the flavors are there. I mean, ultimately, like, people like things that taste good. That's the reality. And this is something that, again, it exists a lot. It originates from Southern Europe and parts of Asia, and so it's popular in other parts of the world. But again, America, it's beautiful because it's a melting pot, right?
Yeah.
And as the double chocolate flavor is the only one that actually existed across other parts of the world. We were the ones that sort of designed every other flavor. So we are essentially, and of course, like, we're Americans, so this is now an American dessert. Like, it's part of this
Wow.
country's culture. So we're proud of that. We advertise it as it's American made. We use natural, fresh, local ingredients, and it's something that we're proud about when we talk about our culture here. It's like this is part of it now, and as people try it, they get used to it. We brand it as an American made American product, which is why people have been trying it and loving it, and we're excited to share it more with others.
Yeah. So how have partnerships with small grocers, coffee shops, or local markets opened doors for wider distribution?
Yeah, I mean, they're fantastic. I mean, we have some local places that that wholesale our cakes, mostly coffee shops, and we also, of course, have some partnerships with um, you know grocery stores for ingredients like milk, etc. And it's great because we're able to build partnerships with these other local businesses. So we support, they support us, we support their business, and of course that does lead to larger partnerships
Yeah.
in other states.
Wow. Now, can you once again, you guys have a website, social media where people can start following you, and give the location and the name as well again?
Yeah. So our website is mosaiccakes.com, like Mosaic Cakes, or you can also just Google us, Mosaic Cakes. We're, the first thing that pops up when you search our name. So, our website is primarily where you can, order. And again, if you're in Southeast Michigan, we're still taking Thanksgiving orders. And you can also find us on Instagram at mosaic_cakes, and on TikTok at Mosaic Cakes. And so you can find us there on all those platforms. Or you can call us again at 248-238-8803. 248-238-8803, and we would take phone orders as well.
Yeah, here's what I'm gonna to those who are listening: get out there, let's support a small business who's doing a lot of great things. And I mean, when you said that you guys are basically started a lot of the other tradition, I mean the forms of mosaic cakes, I think that is amazing, and I think this is going to catch on. Are you looking to expand or open up another store?
Yeah, I mean, we are going to be, hopefully expanding at some point, to a storefront, and so in the near future. And I think that that's great. I think ultimately, like, we want this to be like shared, nationwide. People already do order from across the country, but to us, it's like something that could definitely be, a nationwide thing.
Yeah.
And then, of course, headquartered in Michigan, operated in Michigan, and then, of course, culturally, like, we are, another Michigan business that hopefully is able to represent this, our part of the world, right?
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. You know what? Here's an idea. I'm a former legislator. You might want to just send some over to Lansing, both sides of the aisle, and
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
if you've done that yet, but I used to always love when we saw the treats coming in from different businesses in Illinois when I was a state rep. So that may be something you want to do.
Yeah, exactly. We've been thinking about that. I wasn't sure how to do it because I'm like, if I send this cake, what's going to happen? Like, I don't really know. Like, and I'm like, I want to send it to, I don't want to, necessarily take sides right off.
No, send it to
right
both.
off the
Send it to
bat.
both
So
sides. Send one
yeah,
for.
exactly.
I mean, I would do it in the House and in the Senate. I don't know. I don't think there's any ethical rules. I know we didn't have them in Illinois as it relates to ethics for a business to bring us snacks. I mean, I can check with Vance and a couple of state reps and ask them if there are any rules or anything to that. But I think that would be great to get them involved and let them know, that you guys are there, what you're doing, and you just never know how many people. And guess what? This is a partisan cake, the Mosaic Cake. How about that?
Yep, exactly.
Mehmet Tascioglu, thank you so much. He's the owner and creator of Mosaic Cakes right there in Southfield. Guys, get on it. Order something for Thanksgiving. Mehmet Tascioglu, thanks so much for joining us on Detroit's Morning Answer.
Yes, thank you for having me, John.
All right. I got to go. Man, Paul, you got to come to Michigan when we go and get one of those Mosaic Cakes. Detroit's Morning Answer. We'll be right back.